Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, I'm going to be reviewing Toy Story 2 for my Disney movie marathon. Oh yeah. And yes, of course, as usual, I do have to talk about the plot of this particular movie. So let's get into it, shall we? This is pretty much a sequel to the first film where Woody and his gang are at it again, where it takes place a few years after the first film, folks. In this animated sequel, Buzz Lightyear and Woody are now the best of buddies, of course. But just when everything seems to be a-okay, we get to see that the character Woody, the leader of the toys, so to speak, is suddenly stolen by this toy collector. And of course, because of this, Buzz Lightyear and his friends, they do vow to pretty much rescue him. And the thing is, folks, the character Woody is then tempted by the idea of being immortal in the museum, a toy museum, so to speak. Many of the original toys, of course, return in this particular sequel, with a few additional characters, including Jessie, Barbie, Sneaky Pie, if I'm pronouncing the name right, and the characters in this film, of course, they realize what they must do, of course. And yeah, the thing is, Woody himself, he wanted to go to camp with their owner, Andy. But of course, Andy had accidentally nearly ripped Woody's arm off just before he got stolen. So there was that, folks. So because of that, he was left behind. Andy's mother left the toy behind, so yeah, that becomes an issue throughout the entire film. And speaking of the new characters, I do think Jessie is a nice addition to the characters, of course. I like her, and she does come off with a good sense of humor throughout the entire film. So, in a lot of ways, I thought this was a much better sequel than the original, which is surprising because Disney is, yeah, let's just say they have a reputation of making some of the worst sequels ever made. So, thankfully, this turned out to be one of the better films. And of course, there's a good villain, obviously. Very good sequel, folks, with a really, really cool villain. So yeah, I know it's Disney, but they're known for having villains. Which is why I found it surprising that this is a really, really good sequel. And yeah, the thing is with that, infamously known for making some of the worst sequels. Oh my god, they're awful. But thankfully, this one was actually really, really good, folks. Yeah, big surprise there. So I guess not all sequels that they made were terrible. So thankfully, some actual care was made to this, folks. Disney and Pixar are still around, so they must be doing something right there, folks. Oh yeah. But yeah, folks, all in all, some great care was placed into it. So I can obviously see that they wanted to do a sequel, but only if there's a good enough story. Yeah, there's some good villains in here, folks, like I mentioned before. So of course, you need some conflict within the story, folks. To make some drama, you need conflict. If there's no conflict, then there's no drama. And if there's no drama, then there's no plot. And if there's no plot, then there's no reason for me to care. So altogether, folks, this was definitely a really good sequel. It has a good story. The characters are likable. The animation itself has been improved over the original, which is of course a good sign. It's been about 4 years after the first movie. And yes, the characters like Andy's mother and Andy himself and the little sister are of course older. So that would make sense from a story standpoint, so of course. But, yeah, of course, the characters, the toys, they're not going to age at all, of course. There's a sense of a grand adventure in this particular movie, folks. Which, of course, makes sense because, well, this is a Disney movie, and they are known for doing that. The fact that Pixar had teamed up with Disney doesn't bother me at all. I know a lot of people out there don't like that. They really despise a lot of these CGI Disney animated films, which of course makes them really biased. And that's the one thing I noticed. A lot of the older Disney fans tend to avoid these movies just based on the fact alone that they're CGI. Which of course doesn't make a whole lot of sense, really. And I mean, okay, granted, some are better than others, I'll give you that, but still, don't just dismiss the movie just because it's CGI, folks. I mean, granted, I do miss the old hand traditional animation, sure, but still, that does not make it a bad movie just because it's CGI, folks. So yeah, if you are one of those people that are pretty reluctant to watch these movies just because it's CGI, just give this film a chance, folks, because it's really good, folks. There's a good plot. Of course, to make a movie, one of the most important elements is, of course, a plot. There's the characters. The characters themselves come off fully three-dimensional, no pun intended. And, yeah, the characters do come off well-rounded. I'm not just talking about the animation themselves, folks. I'm talking about the character development. There's a great sense of character development in this particular movie. The characters, especially Woody, learn something about himself, of course, and of course the characters would do anything. His close buddies would do practically anything to save him from the bad guy of the story of this film, folks. The villain, so to speak, of course. Yeah, he does come off like a scumbag, if you ask me. Oh boy. And so altogether, a really fun movie, folks. Altogether, something I would definitely recommend, because it's definitely, without a doubt, one of my favorite movies. And it definitely proves the fact that Disney and Pixar are capable of making a really good sequel. So yeah, let's just hope they keep up this trend, folks. Let's hope they do. So altogether, folks, I really like this film. The music was, of course, great. And the music was really well composed as a whole. I really, really like the music. It definitely sets the tune. So yeah, especially that one song that was playing during Jesse's backstory is pretty sad in a lot of ways. But I still liked it. So yeah, folks, let's hope they keep this up. Yes, indeed. So altogether, this was a really enjoyable film. And I did like the characters and the overall plot was well executed. And I liked the voice acting. The voice acting was, of course, top notch. Toy Story 2 gets an overall rating of an 8.8 out of 10. It gets an 8.8 out of 10 for me, folks, because it's a good movie. Oh yeah. As always, thanks for watching and take care. See you.